Hello folks, it's been a couple of weeks since we did the video. Main reason for that is the weather has been so good that and of course the clocks have changed, so there's loads of daylight, and so I've just been pressing hard on the roof to get that done. I'm under a little bit of pressure now because I've arranged for my boy Tom to come up in May to screed the floor, and all that's got to be prepared, insulation down, underfloor heating pipes, drainage pipes, water pipes, all got to be sorted. So I've just not had a chance to be editing as well as working. So I thought I'd just try and get this little bit of footage together from the last couple of weeks, bits and pieces. There was a patch of bad weather, so I got some other odds and ends done then. So I'll cobble that lot together now and get that done, and then I'll come back to you at the end and show you where we're at with the roof and maybe a little shot of the puppies as well. Eh? So hope you enjoy this, and see you again at the end of the video. Hello folks, well after a few really good days, I mean the weather's been great, I've had a few really good days on the roof. The weather has turned, it's been raining all day today. I got on really well with the roof, I think pretty much on schedule to finish end of the month like I hoped, but this weather has kind of done for me. Show you where we're at. how you can see that. We're up to the top of the velluxes all the way along now. The last thing I did last night was do all the curved slates between the velluxes up there. So really pleased with progress, just frustrating that the weather has turned today. So, and I think it's due to be the same tomorrow, which is a bit of a drag. It's been a slow start today, not just because of the weather, but Maggie has not been so well. I had to take her to the vets today. She's got mastitis, which is an infection and swelling in one of her teats. So she's relaxing in the caravan. She's on antibiotics for that. So it means we've got to start feeding the pups, start weaning them. So I'll show you what they're looking like. You'll be quite surprised how much they've grown since we last showed you. It also means we've changed things around in the porter cabin and created this pen for them. Here they are. Aren't they cute? Some real clonkers in there. They've grown so much. So I've just made this pen for them in the corner of the porter cabin so we can start feeding them and then they can get out and have a run around. They're really starting to move about now. Yep, that's that. So can't get on with the roof today, it's just too wet. I don't mind doing it in a bit of rain, but this is just too much. So I'm starting to turn my thoughts towards the next job once the roof's done, which is to get the floor screeded. And so in order to do that, I've got to empty everything out. So I'm going to start moving this Celotex out of here into the barn so I can get the stuff out of the barn and get somewhere to put it, which is in here, so that I can get damp-proof membrane down, Celotex down, and get it all ready for screeding. Also, I've got to get some holes out in the walls. There's pipe work that's got to go out, waste pipes and water pipes. And it's obviously the walls are 2 foot thick stone, so that's going to be a bit of a game. So I've got all of April to get that done because my boy Tom's coming up first week of April to get his puppy and help me screed the floor. So got to get it done by then. So yeah. I'm just going to start moving stuff around today. That's all we can do in this weather. So, and keep an eye on Maggie and the pups. Here we go. Hello folks, well I didn't get any more done yesterday really. I got a few more sheets of Celotex in, but the weather was just awful. And Maggie was really not very well. She's a little bit better today. Her antibiotics I think are starting to kick in. So it was just a waste of a day really. I got a bit more moved and I got some floorboards out of here in the shed. So today weather is a bit improved, but it's really cold and it's a bit of sunshine, then a heavy downpour and then a bit more sunshine. So the roof's out of it. So I'm turning my mind to indoor stuff for the moment. This, hard to see just from a brief look with the camera, but this wall which runs down the middle of the barn, the staircase is going to come up here, and on the other side of the wall is the bathroom, which will run from this point here at the end of this stud wall, which when this doorway is built back up, the stonework will come across and the wall will meet that. Then this will be the bathroom downstairs obviously, but the wall that meets the end of the bathroom is going to be here. It's about 550 in from that end, and what this side will be like a little like a recessed nook if you like. And so what I'm trying to work out is drainage, which is all going to go under the floor. So it's going to sit on top of this concrete between sheets of Celotex. The Celotex will butt up either side and then the screed will go over the top. I've got to get it out, and obviously these walls are very thick, 2 foot thick. So I've been bashing away at that for an hour or so, and I've got a fair way in, and I think I can just about see daylight through there now. So I'm going to jam a big steel rod through there. Hopefully it will break through the other side, then I can find out where it is on the outside. There's a big concrete plinth out the back, which I think we're above, because if we're below it, then things are going to get really tricky. So we'll see. Oh, that's gone through. So we'll go see where we are. Oh, sunshine. Don't be deceived. It won't be for long. So that spike should be poking out the wall here somewhere. Ah, I see it. So this is the store that I built to dry all the roof timbers that we milled. It's fairly makeshift, but it's done the job. Still got some really nice bits of timber in here actually. Got some really nice big lumps of ash, which I'm looking forward to using. Let's have a look. And there's the spike. So, I need to knock those stones out. Hopefully I might get away with just taking the one out, hopefully this one. Hopefully that will see me through. And then this other one will carry on supporting what's above it. Yes, I hadn't thought that it was going to be inside the log store, but it's better inside there than below this concrete plinth, which is pretty mighty. Imagine having to break through that in order to get a pipe out. There you go, I said it wouldn't be long, look, it's chucking it down the rain. Yeah, we need to get that stone out. So, mind your ears. I tell you what, I'm glad I didn't go any further that way. Look at the size of that bit. It'd been fun getting that out. I feel slightly nervous doing this, thinking that the stuff above's going to drop, but it's all so tied in with the stuff in the middle. So effectively there's a row of stones on the outside and a row of stones on the inside, and then the bit between is filled with like rubble and lime, and then you get the odd stone that goes right through the other way, ties it all together. So it's really well tied in. Once the pipe's in place, I'll rebuild this and try and make it as pretty as I can. This whole back side eventually is going to be repointed. I'll drag all this old lime out and repoint it like I did the front. But things like this, I still want it to look neat and nice. It might be a challenge, but hey, the whole job's a challenge. There we go. That is that's the hole you need to make for a 4-inch pipe. There you go. That's great. I thought that might take me, half a day or a day. You just don't know with this stuff. It's been an hour or so. I do fancy that stone's got to come out as well, though. Looking at it, I think that's slightly higher than the floor level inside. And obviously I can't go any lower than the floor inside, and I need a full, so yeah, that's got to come out. There we go. Now we'll get a full. I just build it up with smaller stones underneath once the pipe's in place. That's excellent. Good. Scrape the rest of that out with a trowel, no bother. There we go. 4-inch pipe through there, nice. I think this is going to have to come out as well. Yeah. You see the floor height through there. Imagine coming through there with a slight fall. I'm going to have to take that middle section out, but good. That's a nice job finished. Well, started. Hello folks, things are going well. The weather's great and the roof's coming on pretty good. We had some bad weather, which meant I couldn't get finished by the end of the month, which is what I was hoping, but it's only a couple of days beyond that. We're into April now, and I suppose you can quite see that, but we're not far away. But this morning I'm just going to break off from that for a little while because I really need to start getting sorted out for windows. With my boy Tom coming up to help me screed the floor in a few weeks, he's going to get the windows ordered for me and bring them up with him from the company I used to deal with when I lived down in England. So these windows, as you can see, they're kind of splayed. They're much wider on the inside than they are on the outside. And they've got these fantastic stones. I mean, the amount of work that's gone into that stone alone, because it's got an angle on this end. Well, it's got an angle on all four corners. It's not square. I believe it's called a parcoin. That's with a QU, I believe. So you've got a parcoin there and half of one there and there. And saying that this side you've got the opposite. You've got two parcoins. Anyway, I got chatting to my pal Simon, who's a stonemason, just an unbelievably skilled guy, and he suggested that I could create these little rebates in the windows to fit the windows against, in the openings to fit the windows against. So I've made a start. You see this here. Basically, I've put a grinder in there to form a groove, and then I'm cutting away the stone from here. So there'll be maybe about a 10mm rebate, and then the windows will come in from the inside and just push against there and seal up against that. And then from the outside you'll have this lovely clean line. You can only do it on the splayed ones. Obviously on these openings, which are square, can't do it. So what I did, I've already done a couple. What I did was I got myself a piece of wood, this one. That's the easiest way to show you. Got a piece of wood which was the dimension across, dimension in from the outside of the wall that I wanted, which is about 2.5 inches. Obviously the further out you get, the more light you're going to get through the window. If you go back, you've got all this stone blocking the light, so I wanted to keep it as far forward as I can. So basically I put that up on the wall, levelled it up with a level, held it in place, and then ground down it in as many places as I could just to get myself a line. And then I remembered that I've got this little laser level from Lasgoo, which I featured in a previous video. So I don't need to do any of that holding bits of wood and the like. I can just put my laser level up there. So I'm still using the same bit of wood to get me the right distance in from the wall, and then just setting the laser up to that line. So now I've got a line to go to, and I haven't got to keep holding things. I don't know whether I'm actually going to be in the way. Yeah, that's an issue. I'm going to be in the way of the laser, so I might have to move it. If I move it across to there, so it's coming in from an angle. I wonder if that will work. It's not as good there. How am I going to do this? I know I'm going to do it. I need to set it up high rather than low. If I can get it up here, I need to find something to sit it on. Okay. Of course, I need to put it on the tripod, don't I? That's exactly what I need to do. The tripod that the camera's on. Okay, I'll swap things over. Bear with. Oh, there we go. Laser's up on a tripod now. And you see that, I wonder? Now I've got my line to go to, and when I'm grinding I won't be in the way of it because it'll be above me. Right. I've now got the GoPro attached to a stick. So, let's see how that goes. There we go. Nice straight clean line. And now I need to chip this stone away here. I'm just waiting on a couple of tungsten tip chisels to arrive. A chisel and a punch coming, which will do that job quite nicely. So, do the same again the other side. You can see this line, this black, this light line here, about 4 inches in. That's where the previous window frame had sat, and they then covered this section with sort of a lime render in places, but sometimes it was sand and cement, which is not very good. You can see they've done it here, look. This is like really rock hard sand and cement. I've got to chip all that away without breaking the stone away. That's the problem we're using sand and cement. It does have a tendency to break the stone. So I've got to do that quite carefully. I've already done it on the windows. And then I'll come back and cut that away. You'll end up with this lovely flat reveal. Windows will push up to there, and then I'll probably foam round the inside. This will have a sealant against it before the windows are pushed in, and then there'll be a foam at the back, an insulation grade foam that will then fix the windows in place. How's your face? Tight. You had a rather nice walk up some large hills yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, two.
What was it called?
I've no idea.
Benacockle or something?
Something like
Benacockle. Benatorture. Yeah. You're feeling the effects today, huh?
My left knee.
Left knee.
If anyone's got one, sort of pale to medium, I'll have one.
Okay.
Maybe a right one for a spare.
Very good. Well, that's all of them cut now. I'm just going to put the camera there. You can see at the bottom of that groove. You see the laser sitting right at the back of the groove. Take your time with one of them fine grinding wheels. You can be really accurate. I'm really, really pleased with that. Right at the back of the groove. Sadly, in the past, at some point, somebody's got hold of this. Well, it's just a frame now. This aluminium sort of secondary glazing frame wouldn't quite fit the window. So what have they done? They've ground a great lump out of the sill. I didn't realise that till I uncovered that. Fortunately, it's far enough back from my groove. I'm glad I hadn't done the other windows first and gone any further back, otherwise that would have caused me a bit of grief. But that's going to be hidden underneath the other window, the new window that goes in. But yeah, a bit of stone butchery gone on there. Well, that's all my grooves sorted now, so I just got to wait for these new chisels to arrive, and then I can get the stone chipped away and reveals sorted. Well, it's been so hot today. 19 degrees, which doesn't sound very hot, but that's the hottest day we've had up here for quite a long time. I'm not going up and down the scaffold outside anymore. I'm going in and out of the Velux windows. So I'm just going to pop you out and show you where we're at with the roof. It's getting close. I've just put the second ridge on. Which is just a sight to see. That's finished. That section is finished. But all this is still yet to do. I got one row of 11s to finish, and then 4 rows of 10s, and then one row of 9, and then the very top one, which I'm actually doing because I'm a bit short of slate, as it turns out after all that. I'm putting these Spanish ones on at the very top, which look fine. And they're that little bit thinner, so, but I'm cutting them to random sizes so they don't look too uniform. But that's where we're at. Ridges are starting to go on. That's 2 on, I think there's going to be 8 or 9 in total. So in the next video I'll show you how we do that. It involves making up a timber that sits on top of the ridge for the clips to fix into. So that's that. I've still got quite a few of them to make. I'll just drop back indoors. And, so roof, haven't hit my deadline of the end of March. The weather scuppered me a bit, and it's just a mammoth task to get done. But I'm glad I set myself that target. It did push me on a bit. And I'm guessing you might like to see the puppies, which are now, can you believe, they'll be 5 weeks old tomorrow, which will be 9th of April. They're all in their little house. We've got them outside at the moment. Look at these little beauties. They'll all come out now. Hello, puppies. Aren't they gorgeous? I'll turn around so that the sun's not in her eyes. Hopefully they'll follow me around. Hello, pups. Oh, the weather's so good that we've been out to bring them out to this little pen outside. Which they rather enjoy. Oh, aren't they great? Puppy therapy, nothing like it. Maggie's way better now. She's back to top form, barking and jumping around. She was quite ill for a while there, but got her to the vets and sorted out. If anybody wants a hunt away collie cross pup, drop us a comment. They'll be ready in 3 weeks. You have to collect though. Can't post them. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll try to not leave it so long for the next video. It's just been, I'm obsessed with getting this roof finished. I just need to get it done. So I'm working every hour I've got to do that. And hopefully the next video there'll be this victorious moment where the last screw goes in. And the last slate is fixed and the last ridge is fixed. So until then, thanks for watching, and hope you keep enjoying the videos, and feel free to share them around and tell your friends, and if anybody's interested, just send them along. Okay, cheers for now. I'm back on the roof.